Ask Dan Schneider. Continuing in the theme of an earlier Ask Dan Schneider, uh, several have come to me. Several emails have come asking me the question of who was my favorite sort of heartthrob growing up in the 1960s and 70s. Meaning, a lot of them reference the old Mary Ann versus Ginger from the Gilligan's Island kind of thing. Well, that, this is a more lighthearted ADS, so I would have gone with Ginger. Yes, like most men, I would marry Mary Ann, but if I had to spend one night, it's Ginger all the way. I also preferred Jan, though, from the Brady Bunch over Marcia, in that classic kind of question. When I think of like the girls that I liked growing up on television, the one that stands out is Valerie Bertinelli from One Day at a Time in the mid-70s. And Valerie Bertinelli is sort of like the epitome of the petite, cute, olive-skinned brunette Italian girl that every guy wanted to marry. I remember when she was on that show at 14 or 15. She's 5 years older than me. I was 9 or 10 when that first aired. It was either in 74 or 75. And that, yeah, she was my top pick there. I remember when she, in 1980 or so, got together with Eddie Van Halen, the rock star. I was like, oh, there goes my hopes of landing her. In another Ask Dan Schneider mentioned when I was about 20, I first saw Megan Follows, the actress, and of course, every guy with any artistic bent wanted to have his own Anne of Green Gables. I had known a girl then a year or so later that I met at an upstate writers' forum in Brockport that was sort of like that way, and I thought I was on the cusp of a romance with her, but years later I emailed her and she pretended she didn't know who I was. Now you might say, Dan, why are you so egoistic? Well, she also pretended she didn't know the family that she was staying with, some guy she might have been involved with too, so she was one of those girls who wanted to put her past behind her. But nonetheless, getting back to Megan Follows and Valerie Bertinelli, those are probably the two from my early youth and my young manhood that stuck with me. Of course, the great question then is, which of Charlie's Angels did you prefer? And of course, Jaclyn Smith all the way. Kate Jackson was, nice looking and whatnot, and Farrah Fawcett was the big sex symbol, but she never did it for me. Cheryl Ladd, who came on, was certainly boobalicious and bikinilicious, but Jaclyn Smith was my big one there. If I think back onto kids' television shows, Carol Demas, who I still hope to interview, I had a crush on her when she was on The Magic Garden. Emmy Jo, Doug's helper from the New Zoo Review when I was really young, too, with her go boots. I really found her hot. And I'm sure there are probably others that I have long forgotten, but there go tales of my prepubertal lusts. Anyway, this Ask Dan Schneider is now at an end.